Is Ali Abdaal's part-time YouTuber Academy worth it?
Hey friends.
It's been 12 months since I took PTYA in cohort 4. I'm Peter. I'm an investment banker at Goldman Sachs turned content creator here in San Francisco. I'm gonna go over 7 things. Why I took PTYA, the course structure, the pros, cons, my key learnings and results after 1 year, and is it worth it?
TLDR.
It's 1000% worth it. I've taken courses from Ali, Casey Neistat. It's the best YouTube course I've taken, but it costs thousands of dollars, so it only makes sense for certain people. So make sure you watch this whole video through till the end to really understand if PTYA is for you. Why I took PTYA. I started my YouTube channel a 1.5 years ago with the goal to have fun, help people in a meaningful way, and to eventually have time and financial freedom. But about 8 months into it, I felt like I was spinning my wheels. I had been grinding and I had made 140 videos, but I only had 281 subscribers. I was working really hard, but I knew I needed to work smarter. It was around that time I saw Ali's video on how he built his channel and got to $1.4 million in revenue. At the time, I wondered if he was full of BS or if this guy could really help me build a successful YouTube channel. I decided to take the plunge and I forked over my cash and signed up. My goals were to gain clarity on the purpose of my channel and my niche, to gain more confidence that I could build a successful YouTube channel, and to build a sense of community, to have mentors and peers, a support system, and to build a consistent system. Course structure. The goal of PTYA is to teach you how to build a successful YouTube business. Ali is on. See him there. This is cool. This is like a first day of school kind of feeling. It's a live 4-week cohort-based online course. So all the lectures and everything is done on Zoom. Every week there's about 9 hours of live sessions. So there's keynotes from Ali, workshops with guest speakers, people like Thomas Frank, Pat Flynn, Charisma on Command. Then there's Q&A with Ali and his PTYA team.
Peter, any suggestions on how to integrate shorts into our strategy? Should we do shorts on our main channel or create a second channel?
And there are 6 homework assignments, basically making 6 videos with prompts, and you'll get feedback each week on those videos. For the community, most of it is done on the Circle online forum where you can post your videos, share your wins, your struggles, get feedback. There's also these Zoom happy hours where you can meet people to hopefully find accountability partners. And then if you want, there's power hours where there's co-working on a Zoom where you can really do deep work. Then there's 16 hours of bonus footage. It's a collection of the best stuff from all the past cohorts. It takes a while to go through, but it is really high grade stuff. All right, let's talk about the pros. My favorite part of the course was the community. I got to basically build a support system of other YouTubers. In cohort 4, there are around 400 people. Everyone's from around the world, like Portugal, Sweden, New Zealand, Thailand, etc. And everyone seems to be really into productivity, and you can tell they're fans of Ali Abdaal. And I still do weekly calls with my house group Lumos. What's up, guys? I'm also on a WhatsApp chat with some other PTYA friends, and we always ping each other all the time. And I also met people in real life when I went to the London meetup.
I signed up to PTYA thinking I was going to know how to do a video. It turns out I learned loads more. I learned about newsletters, I've made some friends. I've come down to London to meet strangers I've met off the internet.
What are we talking about here?
PTYA vlog.
This is your PTYA vlog.
Whatever you want to say.
Peter is awesome.
That's what we like to hear. Subscribe.
I'm not exaggerating, but it might sound like that. It has changed my life.
5 years ago, he knows loads about
Just so many possibilities that I've not thought about before, and so many great connections I've made. Yeah. Shout out to Nikita.
The second pro for me is the live interaction. I've taken a lot of one-way online video courses, but taking a cohort-based course where you can ask Ali questions.
I just need to make 1 or 2 videos every week. I don't care how good they are. I'm just going to focus on making 1 or 2 videos every week.
Interact with the other students while he's speaking, ask questions to guest speakers like Thomas Frank, Charisma on Command, Pat Flynn. It really helped to speed up my learning. I had a lot of questions that I had in my head floating around that I couldn't find the answers to on YouTube. So I was stuck for a long time. For example, before I started my channel, I probably took 3 months debating if I should use my name Peter Su or build a brand name. But if I had asked Ali that question, I probably would have felt way more confident in 5 minutes. Because if you follow his advice, you know you're starting at least from a world-class level and you can iterate from there. 3, world-class teaching. Ali's basically one of those rare people that is a world-class YouTuber and is also a world-class teacher. He's just really good at taking complex ideas and just simplifying them so that it's easy to digest. 4, confidence. Before PTYA, I had so many questions and I wasn't sure how to build a successful YouTube channel, and I wasn't sure if I could. But hearing Ali take you through his whole process of how he picked his audience, his niche, how he does his idea generation, scripting, filming, editing, marketing, expansion, monetization, hearing that whole process from him, I know it'll take a lot of work, but now I really believe that I can do it. Another aspect I love was how high caliber the guests were. Being able to meet YouTubers that were many steps ahead, like Thomas Frank, Pat Flynn, being able to ask them questions directly really helped me to up level quickly and gave me confidence that I can do it too. And then to be able to ask questions to YouTubers that are a few steps ahead, they're like medium size, like Mayuko, Karma Medic. I could ask all these little nitty gritty tactical questions. For example, like I asked Karma Medic, how do you stay present when you're doing your vlogs? How do you vlog when you're around with your friends? Things like that it's really hard to find answers to online. Only someone like Karma Medic could answer that question. Mindset. PTYA really helped me to have a clearer mindset of what I should prioritize and focus on. Being around all these YouTubers, it really normalized doing something as weird as YouTube. In real life, I don't really know anyone that's doing YouTube. When I hit 100 subscribers, I didn't have that many people to celebrate it with. Now I can tell people like, hey, Matt Devella retweeted me.
Or you put it on a selfie stick and it becomes a little like a drone.
Like this is like nice.
And then you learn things like how to beat perfectionism, learning that quantity leads to quality. And then there's just good mental health tips for creators. Like Karma Medic mentioned, he likes to separate his identity, his self-worth from his YouTube channel, and that he has his life and just YouTube is part of it. And I think that was a really good reminder for me and probably some other creators. Transparency. I really appreciated how Ali could just talk about how much money he made from AdSense, affiliate links, sponsors, his courses, and how he did it. What's his RPM rate, his click-through rates, the retention curves he sees. Super helpful to just be able to calibrate where I'm at and where I can improve what I'm doing well. Feedback. Every video you make and submit for homework, someone that's trained will go and give you feedback. It helps you up level a lot faster than if you just kept making videos and didn't close any feedback loops and just moved on to the next video. Time for the double chin angle for the cons. The biggest con in my book is the price. PTYA is really expensive. Right now it ranges from $2,000 to $6,000. And that is a lot of money. There are layers to it, so I'm gonna go deeper into it in the next few sections. Pacing. How they organize and pace the course content for each student is my biggest feedback for the course. Sometimes I felt like there were just way too many sessions, way too much information coming at me. And then if I missed a session, I wasn't sure which one to catch up on. And I had to do the homework, and I wanted to go and get to know other PTYA. It was just so much, and that even after the course, I had to take 1 to 2 months of a break just to reconnect with myself. The challenge is PTYA is trying to give you everything to everybody, beginners, intermediate, and advanced YouTubers. For me, as someone that's like an intermediate YouTuber, some topics were too rudimentary for me, other topics were too advanced, and I wouldn't need them for a while. I think there's definitely an opportunity for them to be able to better segment, start with each audience type and build courses accordingly for that. I do appreciate how they've addressed that feedback by partitioning off the YouTube for Beginners course on Skillshare, having PTYA for advanced beginners to intermediate to advanced intermediate, and then for advanced people now they have the Creatorpreneur course, which focuses more on monetization and expansion. Sometimes PTYA felt like I was eating at a really good restaurant. Hot fries, sizzling steak, ice cold sorbet, and then all of a sudden there's 10 frozen steaks that are thrown at me, and some of the steaks came from their upper end Michelin star restaurant, and other steaks came from their low end fast food chain, and I wasn't sure which frozen steak to eat next while I was eating my fries. For content organization, I gotta give it a B. For quality of content and depth of content, I gotta give it an A+. Short. For cohort 4, it was 6 weeks, and I felt like that was too short, and now it's been cut to 4 weeks. I wish the course was longer, like a college semester, say 2 to 3 months, where basically you can have more time to process everything you're learning and apply it and make videos, build habits, build momentum, and then build deeper relationships with all the other students. I think it would go a long way for getting students even better results. Tough time zones. So all the classes are scheduled around UK time. So if you're not in Europe, it can be pretty tough sometimes. For example, I'm in California, so there's gonna be calls from 6 to 8 a.m., the power hours at like midnight, 1 a.m., the happy hours are at 7:30 a.m. I definitely know that they've done their best to find the time that works for everybody, but I wish at least the social events were more regionalized, based off of time zones. The next few points are more about fit. PTYA is very education focused, so it's not really as strong for entertainment focused channels, people that want to vlog, do sketches. But having said that, if you want to build a business, you'll still get a lot out of the course. PTYA is definitely more about building a business and less about the creativity, the filmmaking, the editing. It's less about the artistic aspect. Sometimes I feel like Ali can be a little bit too business-minded, but I will say that is his strength and that's what he's really playing up here, and that's what you really get out of the course. Heads up, the prereq for this course is that you already know how to edit or that you take Ali's editing class before the course starts. It's also part-timer heavy. For people that want to do YouTube full-time or are doing YouTube full-time, I felt like the odd man out. I wish they had a little bit more tools and encouragement and perspective for how to do YouTube full-time. Now we're gonna go over my takeaways from Ali's whole YouTube process. I'm gonna analyze it from a framework of how I look at startups as a former venture capitalist. We're gonna talk about how he thinks about strategy, marketing, building a product, AKA videos, building a process, and a business model. The first step we're going to talk about is how Ali thinks about YouTube strategy. There's a saying I really like is, in order to be understood, understand them first. Before you start on your YouTube journey, I think it's really important to understand what YouTube wants. And Ali outlines what YouTube's #1 goal is. It's to get the right video in front of the right person to maximize time spent on YouTube. If you can help them do that, then they will help you. And that leads to how to succeed on YouTube. It's actually really simple. It's just two things. It's one, having someone click on your video, and then two, having them watch your video. If you can do these two things consistently, Ali teaches basically you'll have wild success on YouTube. And of course, that's much easier said than done. The whole rest of the course is basically all the elements that can help you to boost these two metrics so that you can succeed on YouTube. I really love Ali's framework for how to clarify the purpose of your YouTube channel and your content strategy. He thinks of it as this chart where on the left-hand side of the spectrum, it's a hobby and you're doing it purely for yourself. And the further right you go, the more you care about audience growth and building a business. And so it's super important to just really be honest with yourself. Where are you on this spectrum? Ali started off more as a hobbyist and then he skewed all the way to being a business, and now he's kind of somewhere in between. And personally, I think I've been a little bit here and now I'm moving more to the middle. And from this content strategy, there are two approaches to finding your niche. One is you can be an architect where from day one, you know exactly what your vision is, what your goal is, who your audience is, the problem you're solving, the solution you have. For example, if you're a tennis coach and you're building a YouTube channel to basically do lead gen to get more clients, then you would be an architect. The second approach is being an archaeologist, which takes a lot of time and experimentation. You're digging around here, and if it's not there, then you dig around here and try this topic. It's a long process of really just digging and having fun and then finally finding your niche. And to find your niche, Ali talks about 3 levels. The first level is who am I and what do I want? So that's really understanding what do you care about? What are your interests? What are your strengths? What do you want to teach? What kind of people do you want to hang out with? Level 2 is who's my audience and what do they want? So it's really understanding who's your target audience. Like understanding things like their age, gender, hobbies, their goals, their challenges, and really being able to picture this one person so that you know what kind of t-shirt they wear, what kind of sneakers they wear, what kind of food they like, what kind of music they listen to. The more you can really visualize who they are, the more you can understand their problem and the more you can create a solution that really makes them happy. And then level 3 is what value am I giving to my audience? Ali likes to think about a niche as a need. And essentially it's when you find your niche, you'll be able to say, I do X for Y. For example, if you're a tennis coach, you can say, I help retirees play tennis better so they can impress their friends. I'm a venture capitalist that helps seed founders raise money from venture capitalists. And the key to remember is to just be yourself. And I really love what Ali teaches. There are basically no unique messages, only unique messengers. I think a lot of us, myself included, are always afraid, hey, there's so many people already on YouTube doing my niche. What else can I add? And maybe you can't add anything new in the beginning. And really what is new is how you deliver the same message. Ollie was a 20-something-year-old doing book summaries on things he learned, he shared, and eventually he became an expert in the field and is able to really help a lot of people. My takeaway from this is basically be yourself and share what you're learning, and eventually you'll become an expert and you'll be able to add a new message. And in terms of a YouTube roadmap, there are the 4 stages of YouTube. 1, make your first video. So it's just really literally posting your first video. Stage 2 is making 1 bad video per week. Stage 3 is make 1 good video a week. And once you can make 1 good video a week, then you can enter stage 4, where you accelerate your growth, where you start doing things like repurposing and your channel starts to really take off and grow exponentially. So where are you on the 4 stages right now, and where do you want to get to? Now we have Ollie's YouTube formula. Make 1 useful video every week for 2 years and your life will change. So Ollie isn't guaranteeing you're gonna be a YouTube billionaire instantly. It's literally, you have to make a useful video every week for 2 years, so it's hard and it's for a long time. And your life will change in ways like you'll meet great people that are like-minded, you'll have a body of work that you're proud of, there's new opportunities that might open up that you never imagined. So that's really what he means by your life will change. Let's talk about how Ollie thinks about marketing. So in terms of generating ideas, Ollie has 2 approaches to it. You can capture your ideas or you can generate them. And he has a lot of different methods listed here. I'll just point out a few. Like the birdsong technique is really like you're a bird listening to a song, and when you hear it, you jot it down. So this could come from if you're listening to a podcast, watching a TV show, see something on Twitter. You just are open and you jot it down as soon as you get it, you capture that idea. Coal mining is where you go into places like forums and blogs and you really capture interesting ideas that are resonating with you. Ollie's a big fan of stealing like an artist a la Austin Kleon's book, where you're modeling after your role models until you basically come up with your own original ideas. And I really like how Ollie doesn't think about people as competition, but as colleagues, because you're all trying to serve the same purpose, and the market's so big that you're like colleagues trying to serve a greater interest. And next is titles and thumbnails. So this is a huge part of the class. Basically, titles and thumbnails are half, if not more, of a video success. Charlie from Charisma on Command basically said, if your video has 100 impressions, if it has a 3% click-through rate, then 3 people will see it, see the first second. And then let's say it's a 30% retention, 1 person will see the last second. This is your title and thumbnail, and this is your video. The title and thumbnail are so freaking important. You'll learn a lot about how to come up with great titles. I always suggest focusing less on search titles and more on browse titles, the ones that show up on people's homepages, because that's when you can go have a chance of going really viral. And these titles are usually a little more like intriguing. For example, how I made $4 million in 2022. That's a good browse title versus a search related title like how to do your state taxes. And Ollie teaches a process of how to brainstorm your own ideas and then how to research other people's titles and thumbnails and just looking for patterns and keywords that stick out, any patterns with the thumbnails that really work. And then you can model after those patterns and integrate them into your own ideas to make the thumbnail your own. Next, Ollie talks about branding, where it really comes from the values of your channel, your profile banner, the thumbnail vibe you have, the fonts you use, the colors, your set design, things like plants, laptops, books, etc. And within your video, there are things like rituals, things like, hey friends, if you're new here, welcome back to the channel. I'm a blah, 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 blah in Cambridge. Icons, things like a little Mandalorian that you could leave as Easter eggs for people that follow your channel. Recurring characters, like how Matt Davella has his wife always showing up in his videos. That's how you get some really nice, consistent branding. And then from there, there's repurposing to expand. And so this is stage 4. And Ollie has the artery method where you have your idea, say your YouTube video, that's the heart, where now it pumps everything out of the heart through the arteries throughout the rest of your system. So you can pump that idea, repurpose it to your website, to your newsletter, to an IG post, to a TikTok, to a tweet, to your podcast, etc., etc., etc. You don't repurpose videos, you repurpose ideas. Now let's talk about product. So how to make awesome videos. Ali likes to talk about scripting, and the way Ali does it is he has his hive method, which is the hook, intro, value, ending, call to action, his triplet structure, quartets, listicles, and the hero's journey. And he goes into more detail here in the course. Ali is a huge fan of production because it helps you to stack the deck, he calls, in your favor. So if someone comes to your channel and everything looks and sounds good, then it's just something easy to do to really stack the deck in your favor. And for filming, you'll learn how to get a nice composition, especially for talking headshots and get the eyes at the 2/3 level, etc. And how to create great lighting, whether it's in the daytime with natural light or indoors with a key light, a softbox, etc. And then you'll learn all these tips for having better camera delivery. So getting more comfortable on camera. For example, Elizabeth gave tips on practicing what you're saying in front of the mirror before you film, pretending like you're speaking to a friend so you're just more casual. So you'll learn their tips on how to be more natural and engaging on camera. In terms of editing, it was really light. It assumes you already took Ali's Final Cut Pro editing class, and they give free access to all students to be able to take it before the class starts. Process. Ali's a big fan of the E-Myth Revisited, where their advice is to work on your business and not in it. You don't have to be the lone genius super person that's doing everything. It's really about how to build your team, how to focus on your strengths, and then you delegate things that you aren't as good at and that you don't want to do. And Ali is a huge proponent of getting an editor as soon as possible. Ali said he wishes he got an editor 3 months after he started his YouTube channel. He felt like 3 months was enough time for him to learn how to edit and for him to be able to hire and manage an editor. One of the best ways to speed up and streamline your whole production process is batching. And if you look at your whole workflow, a lot of us just generate an idea first, we script it, then we shoot it, then we edit it, then we schedule it, we post it, and then we do it again. Versus if you generated 2 ideas and then did the whole workflow 2 at a time, it becomes so much more efficient. And lastly, there's the business model. There's 4 ways to monetize on YouTube. There's AdSense, there's affiliate marketing, sponsors, and building your own products, things like ebooks, your own online courses, etc. Ali's super transparent about all his metrics. So he'll talk about his RPM, what percentages he gets for affiliate links, how to negotiate with affiliates, how to negotiate with sponsors, how much he got per CPM, how to build your own products like Skillshare courses, etc. All right, let's talk about my results. Before I started PTYA, I had 281 subscribers. 12 months later, I have 1,070 subscribers. Looking back at my original goals, for clarity, I'd give it a B-. I feel like part of that is on me. I haven't 100% confidently picked a niche, but I'm definitely getting closer from music, self-improvement, meditation, business, VC fundraising. I'm definitely congealing around helping creators making better videos, building their audiences, and eventually building businesses from it. And if you do want to get more creator and business tips, definitely click that cheeky subscribe button. In terms of confidence, I would say I give myself an A-. I think it's really high. Sometimes I still have some self-doubts. Just seeing how Ali, Thomas Frank, Pat Flynn, Charisma on Command, Mayuko, how they all do it, it gave me a lot of confidence because I believe that I can do it and I got these tools to be able to do it. For community, I give it a high A. I basically meet up with my accountability group from PTYA every week still on Zoom, and I have a WhatsApp chat with other PTYAers. We're always pinging each other about our thumbnails and ideas, giving feedback, tips to each other. I definitely feel less alone here and much more supported in being a YouTuber. The area I want to improve is finding mentors. A few people a few steps ahead of me or many steps ahead of me. And in terms of system, I give myself a B. I'm definitely really comfortable now with the whole process of ideation, title, thumbnail, coming up with a script, with a hook, body, call to action, doing the filming with the lighting, the composition, the set design, and then editing it into a great story that has a payoff, and then promoting it. Except for some vacations and breaks, I've been pretty good about making a video every week. I also have a great system working with my shorts editor, and I've also trialed 2 long form editors, but I'm still working on that. All right, drum roll, please. It's time for the moment of truth. Is it worth it for you? The course costs $2,000 for the essential package. That's the one I got. There's also a medium package, which is $3,000. And then there's an exec package for $6,000. It takes a big investment of time. It's about 10 to 20 hours a week for 4 weeks. It's not for you if you're doing this purely as a hobby and you're doing it purely for yourself. You don't care about audience growth at all. It'd probably be fun and you learn a lot, but you really don't need it and it's not really worth it for you. And if you're serious about growing your audience, but you can't afford it, I would first apply for a scholarship. And if you don't get that, I would take Ali's YouTube for Beginners course on Skillshare. It's about 4 hours long and gives you a great overview of how to build a YouTube channel. It doesn't have the depth or the community of PTYA and the accountability, but it definitely does give you a nice overview. If you want to try Skillshare for free for a month, I have a discount code. I'll link it below. This course is 1000% for you. If you're serious about growing an audience, can afford it, and you want to put in the time, then I would 1000% recommend it. The ROI here could be astronomical. I still do weekly calls with my accountability group from PTYA. I'm still on WhatsApp chats with all of my friends from PTYA. I still post on Circle every week, and I'm actually gonna be a student supporter for the upcoming cohort. My only regret is I wish I took PTYA earlier. I had actually got on the wait list for cohort 2 a year earlier, but I didn't get in. I'm pretty sure I would have grown a lot more by now and have saved myself a ton of time. You can sign up, I think it's every 4 months they do a cohort. But yeah, if you're interested, I would definitely do it now. And if you do want to sign up, I have a cheeky affiliate link in the description. There's no cost to you, but it does give me a referral fee, which helps me to keep making content like this. Whatever you choose, congrats on doing your diligence here. And I really hope you pick the best course to build your dream channel. Here's a playlist of all the YouTube courses I've taken and my reviews. Just remember, courses are only tools to help you tell better stories. Please don't use them to procrastinate on making videos. Keep creating, and I'll see you next time.